like even after the birth, like I always woke up and checked in the camera because it was just so cute to see. And now imagine the cow, like Frida would have probably never met her daughter like this. Thank you, Martin. So hopefully you can all understand me well. And first of all, before I start, I attended the conference, like I arrived here yesterday and I saw a lot of presentations and I'm kind of intimidated. I saw so many great speakers and I met so many great people. So thank you all for your work. Thank you for attending the conference. This is already activism, just to be here, just to talk to people and just to inspire people. So thank you for that, first of all. And yes, so I'm here to tell the story of the two individuals, Frida and Flocke. So I will show you a lot of pictures. It's not about any big facts. I mean, I have some facts, but it's more about their personal story, about the rescue of the two of them, and how they kind of became ambassadors for animal rights, because just by showing their or telling their story or showing their pictures, this somehow changes the minds of a lot of people. So, but before I go into the details, some facts about me. This is me with Flocke. So I'm 31 years old. I'm from northern Germany. So it's hard to tell where I'm from exactly because we kind of live in the middle of nowhere. There only live 50 people. I think there are more horses and animals than people. And the street names are the names from the village, so there are not even street names, but it's kind of like 1.5 hours away from Hanover, 1.5 hours away from Hamburg, so just to give you an overview. And yeah, so I lived there with my boyfriend Max and our animals on 11 acres. I guess that's like, I googled it, it's like 4.5 hectares in German. Yes, so as Martin already said, we have our 2 rescued cows, Frida and Flocke, and 3 horses. I think in the introduction, or it says Jack and Jackson, our horses. We have a 3rd one now, so that's why it's 3 horses. And yeah, what am I doing for a living? Actually, I'm doing something completely else. So I studied business economics and I'm full-time working in the IT purchasing in the automotive industry. So that's something completely different. And for me, it's always hard because somehow I want to spend all my time on being passionate about animal rights. Like I have so many ideas and I want to do so many projects and yeah, spend all my time, but of course, 5 big animals, they kind of want food and everything, so it's kind of, I always say it's like I use my job for, working for the animals, and it's kind of funny because in my work, the story of Frida and Flocke is also really interesting for the people, and I even wrote a blog for like the employee blog, and last week we had a podcast which will be released in October in my company, so that's actually also a good way to be active. Yes, of course, I think I don't have to mention that I'm vegan and animal rights activist, and when I'm not busy with working or when I'm not busy with working or caring about the animals, I like to run, and actually I started running because I wanted to show everyone that vegans can be really, really successful, because like you probably all know that people say, oh, that's not healthy, whatever, and so it was kind of like my motivation to show everyone, hey, I can run a marathon, I can run a half marathon. And yeah, so the motivation for animals is everywhere in my life. So let's talk about the team. We're not an official sanctuary or whatever, it's just like our private home with the animals. So this is my boyfriend Max. we've been together for 14 years, but we're not married, so yeah, he's also working in the IT department and spends all of his free time and all of his time in working for the animals and doing everything for the animals. Then there's also my dad. He comes to us like twice a week to support us. And I will show you some more pictures so I just leave it like this. Frida is always really interested in all the construction sites, and my dad really loves having her around. And he's like, responsible for all the constructions at our, I would say farm. So he knows everything, he supports us so much, he would do everything for the animals. And I'm really thankful that we can also travel the world because he's always like, hey, it's totally fine, I love the animals, I stay at your house and take care of them. So I'm really, really thankful for that. Okay, and the most important part, Frida and her daughter Flocke, and our 3 horses, Ginger, Jack, and Jackson. Okay, so how did we actually get there that we now have a cow? I mean, we started with horses and had our horses at our house, so they live right by our house, you could say in our garden. So like when you're in the living room and you get up in the morning and you go to the bathroom, then the horses are already waiting in front of the living room and see if they can hear something because they want to go on the pasture in the morning. So they have like 24/7 like a lot of space and the hay and whatever, but during night they come closer to the house because we have some wolves and whatever, so we want to have them close by. And yes, so they are always checking where we are and you can never hide. And yeah, so in August 2021, Frida came to us. I was on vacation. And my boyfriend got a call. So she was living in an indoor stable with almost 1,000 other cows. And yeah, we talked to our vet, so we are very close to our vet, and we talked to him and said, hey, we would like to rescue a cow, like, because we have horses, we have space, and I kind of had the feeling that I want to do more. I want to like rescue a cow or pig or whatever. And so we talked to him and he said, yes, I have to like euthanize animals like 3 times a week because they're injured or whatever. And he's like, if you want to rescue a cow, just let me know. I will probably call you tomorrow. That's actually really sad. And so when I was on vacation, my boyfriend got the call from our vet that there's a cow which is pregnant, and she fell in the in her stable and was injured, so she was not able to walk. She always fell, like she was really like 2 steps, and then she fell, and so she was no longer system compatible. So she was not able to stay there because the stables are like with those slippery grounds. And the vet said, hey, actually this cow just needs a place where she gets the time and the space to recover. So the vet got his trailer and drove together with my boyfriend to the stable and picked up Frida, and then she came to us. At that point she was 18 months old, so I see now Flocke every day, her daughter. She's like 18 months old now, and when I imagine that at that age Frida was already pregnant with her first calf, like she was inseminated with 14 months, so that's actually the age where they get inseminated, and with 18 months she was supposed to be killed. So this was the first picture with her when I came back. So you see, she got on our pasture, and she was really curious. So you must imagine she had lived in an indoor stable her whole life. So 18 months inside. It was her first sunshine, her first rain, the first grass, the first people that took the time to care for her, to spend more time with her. And you could see that she was shy but curious, and it was so good to see. And the interesting thing is that everybody in our like around us, our family, our friends, they were all like, "Oh, that's so sad. What would have happened with Frida?" And this is also where I recognized, okay, people see this cow, and they see what would have happened to her, but still they kind of continue with what they are doing. So it was actually kind of sad to see that, and this is also motivation for why we should continue to tell stories of individuals, because it somehow changes something. So, but yeah, the rescue also meant challenges. So first, she couldn't stay on the pasture. I mean, it was just like for the first days. So my dad, Max, and I, like, we built a new fence. We had to like rebuild the stables so that she has her own area, because we couldn't just put her together with the horses. I mean, our horses probably have never seen a cow before, and Frida probably has never seen horses before. We also, like, this was a really important project for my dad. He said, Frida needs something to scratch herself. So, like, within the first week, she got like this tree to make her feel comfortable. And then there was the first contact to the horses. And yeah, they were all pretty interested. And another big challenge, fences. And I would be really curious about experience from you if someone has cows or whatever, because the horses would never touch the fences we have. Like, even if it's just like a fence like this, I mean, that was just really, we just put it up and Frida just went through. So even now, we have a lot of problems with her calf, Flocke, with the fences. Like, the horses or even Frida now would never touch the fences, but Flocke always goes through. So this is a really big challenge at the moment even we have. And then cows have claws and not hooves. So you've had horses before, and now you have a cow, and who's taking care of the claws? For the horses, there's like a farrier everywhere. A lot of people that have horses, they would do everything for their horses, but someone who does the claws. So, and then for a cow that cannot stand, cannot walk. So yeah, we kind of, that sounds maybe silly, but we watched YouTube videos and we bought like this stuff. And then when she was laying down, we tried to help her, and then also the vet came. So that's still a little bit challenging. And now I want to show you. We call her Frida the construction worker. That might sound a little silly, but we mean it lovely, because she really is interested from the beginning on in our construction sites. So, okay, so when when she came to us, we were building a hay rack anew, and this was kind of in her new area. And every time when we came with the construction machines and all the materials, she was like running out of her stable and checking everything. She was really curious about everything. And this is my dad. She was walking around. We had be really, sometimes it was even not dangerous, but we always had to have an eye on her. And this is also kind of funny, you see. So what I want to say about that is, you usually don't see cows in this way. And at first point, this really might seem a little silly, but she's just curious. So nobody forced her to do that. Nobody forced her to go there. She went there because she was just interested. And now imagine where she comes from. And she would have never had the chance to see the world and get like so different impressions. Then she was pregnant, as I said. So next step was, of course, the birth of Flocke. So we installed cameras everywhere because, I mean, I have never had a cow before, and who would help me with the birth? The vet was like, don't worry about that, just make sure that the front legs and the head comes first and then you can do it. And I was like, okay. Thank you. And so we watched YouTube videos. I followed some dairy farmers on Instagram because they always showed like the birth of calves. And I learned a lot from that actually. And we talked to a farmer that lives close by that had like some, how do you say, equipment if something goes wrong to help the cows. So we were kind of really well prepared. And like 6 weeks before the date of the birth, we set an alarm clock every 30 minutes to see in the camera if something is happening, because we wanted to be there right away to support her. And that was really exhausting. I mean, I don't have kids, but probably the people that have kids can kind of relate. And yeah, so hopefully if you cannot see it, I chose this picture, not like all the other pictures, so that's the worst one. So then it started, and you must imagine it was like midnight, and then we saw that it started, and we were like, oh my gosh, Max, can you see the front legs? Is that the tongue? Is that the tongue? And we're like, okay, yes, I guess. And then we called the vet, and he was like sleeping already, and he was like, yeah, just do it, you can do it. I will not come over. So he left us kind of alone with that, but everything went well. You see, that was one of the first moments with Frida and her baby. And she, from the beginning on, she was a really good mom. At first, it was kind of, Flocke did not really manage to get the milk from her mom, so we bought like this colostrum powder in advance to prepare that, and we really needed it, so yeah, that's me. And after a few hours, Flocke was able to get the milk from her mom. And yeah, this is like even after the birth, like I always woke up and checked in the camera because it was just so cute to see. And now imagine the cow, like Frida would have probably never met her daughter like this. And she's such a good mom. She looked after her like right away. She was licking her. She was really taking care. And one really interesting thing is that before that, she never mooed. Like, we never heard her mooing. I don't know, do you say that in English, mooing? And when Flocke was born, she was just mooing all the time. And that was so cute to see. So, yeah, and this continued like that. See, like they both always wanted to be close to each other. Even Flocke took care of her mom, so it's not just the other way around. And they were just being silly and playing together, also like that. This is from a video. Frida just wanted to sleep, and the little one, she was just like going crazy, and yeah. Yes, so, and another thing I want to show you is what was really interesting. Like, I think like 4 weeks after Flocke's birth, we brought the horses with the cows together, because before that we were kind of afraid, because Frida was pregnant, what could happen. So 4 weeks after the birth, we brought them together. But before that, you see, that was one of the first like our horses, they were always able to look into the stable. And so this was the first time Jack, that's our horse Jack, and Flocke met. Because, why am I showing this? Because from minute one, Jack, our biggest horse, which was always kind of difficult, fell in love with our calf. And that was so good to see that, like, this big horse, and he's like, his back is 178 centimeters. So he's like really tall. And then with this small animal, they were like so in love, and they are still. And you can see, like, when they then came together, they are still just, caring for each other. And Jackson really likes to play with the horns of Flocke, because of course she can keep her horns. Like, Frida does not have them anymore because they were, I don't know the English word, like, you probably know what I mean. So Flocke, of course, she can have her horns. Sometimes it's, I'm like, okay, this is kind of dangerous, and you can see on my legs and wherever that I have also here that she has her horns. But it was never a discussion that she could not keep that. And one last thing I want to show you in pictures, and then I want to talk about something else. I already said that the cows are really curious, and always when we went for a walk, like, we really like to go for a walk with our animals, and when we went for a walk with our horses, the cows were always standing by the fence and mooing. And I always had the feeling that they also wanted to see the world. So we were like, okay, let's just try it. Nobody goes for a walk with their cows, let's just try it. And it's also good for practicing if the vet has to come, that you are able to manage your cows and can hold them. So, what are we doing? We are going for a walk with our cows, and they love it. They just love it. I don't have to do anything. They're like just walking next to me, and they stop and smell, and they see things, or sometimes they are afraid of things, and then we just talk to them, and then, like, we go on. And it's so good to see that these animals also like to go for a walk. I mean, you don't have to go for a walk with a cow, but they are just like curious, they want to see the world, and they kind of, love it. So, that's us. And my boyfriend, he has to take Flocke because Flocke is wild, like the little one, she's really wild. And so he has to hold her. So what would have happened if we had not rescued them? So of course we would have not gone for walks, and they would not have made friends with the horses. There would be no mother and daughter relationship. So Frida and Flocke would have been euthanized. That was the plan, So there would be no Frida and Flocke. Scenario 2, if there wouldn't have been this injury, they would have been separated after a few hours. Then Frida would have become a cow in the dairy industry. Flocke would have been probably inseminated too with 14 months like her mom. And both of them would have given birth to a lot of calves in their lives, and approximately with 5 years they would have been sent to slaughter. And what's now? Frida and Flocke is still drinking from her mom, and it's just good to see. Frida likes it, Flocke likes it, so why not? And another important topic I want to talk about, and I'm also interested in maybe your experiences. This is Frida's ear. So she's wearing ear tags, and probably she lost one before, so that's why she has this injury. So I was like, I mean, Frida already had her ear tags, but if you have then Flocke, and I was like, I cannot imagine punching the ear tags in her ear. That like totally goes against my mindset. So, because they need 2 ear tags right after the birth, I think within 1 week. It shows the origin, and it's also found in the ID of them. And with this ear punch, there's a tissue sample punched out and collected, and you have to send it into the lab for checking it for illnesses. and give it to the veterinary institute. So actually there are two main purposes in the law. It's for tracking and identification of the cows and for the epidemic control. So, but we didn't want to accept it, especially because why should Frida and Flocke wear ear tags and our horses not? That doesn't make sense. So is there an alternative? Yes, there is an alternative. You could use microchips for the tracking and identification, and you could just do a blood sample instead of this tissue sample. So you just need the needle and that's it. So what did we do? I did a lot of research and I found a guy somewhere in southern Germany that was having kind of success with this discussion. So I talked to this guy and I talked to the politician in southern Germany that was also involved and was exchanging with them. And so I talked to our veterinary institute and told them the story. And they were like, no, you need ear tags. So I sent them a long letter with the legal references, with the legal basis, with the facts and alternatives, and and then they said, we cannot decide about that, we have to send it to the next higher authority. And that was already a success for me, but because that showed that they cannot ignore what I'm writing. They cannot say you need ear tags, although there's an alternative. And I said it's not about money. I mean, it's of course a blood sample is more expensive and it's more complicated and microchipping is more complicated and more expensive, but I am showing the alternative, so why shouldn't I do it? So that was a success. A kind of success. The higher authority never gave a feedback. That's 1.5 years ago, and I guess they will never do, because when they tell me that it's okay, then I could go to all the sanctuaries and whatever and tell everybody, here is what we achieved, you could also do it. So probably they will never come back. The only thing is that since they have never come back to us, Frida still needs her ear tags, but for Flocke, she will never wear the ear tags. So I was kind of proud about that, and that showed that you can achieve things. If you do research, if you talk to people and you just have to speak up and talk to them, and then you can be successful, even with those small things, but for her, it's a really, really big success. So, of course, I said in the beginning, Frida and Flocke are kind of my ambassadors. So, and everybody's really interested in them. So I spread their story. I wanted to give them a voice. So, for example, I wrote an article and I found it here from the Tierbefreier, die Tierbefreier, that was in there. I even got an article in Bild der Frau. Wow. So I didn't even know about that. Someone on Instagram sent it to me and said, hey, Annika, Frida and Flocke are in Die Bild der Frau. And I was like, okay, well, doesn't matter. Just spread their story, it doesn't matter. And Frida also was on TV, in our regional TV, MDR, Mitteldeutscher Rundfunk. And we also were in the radio, and yeah, they were telling Frida's story. And I was really proud about that. And yeah, it's just an individual, it's Frida, but it's also important to tell the story because it speaks for a lot of individuals. And yeah, in some magazines and podcasts, so Frida and Flocke are kind of famous. And yeah, but of course I also spread their story on my Instagram account, so I'm just posting a lot of pictures and videos, so if you want to see it, just check that out. And I get a lot of positive feedback, and it's so good. There's like one story I want to tell about a woman, and she's writing that since her son, Moritz, he's 8 years old, he always wants to see the Frida and Flocke videos in the morning, and he's saying that he doesn't want to drink milk anymore because the milk belongs to all the Flockes in the world. And this is like one example of the stories, and this sometimes it's really exhausting, this work, but it shows that, yeah, even just one person, even myself, with this story, I mean, there are a lot of people here that have sanctuaries that rescued so many cows, but even with this story, we reached out to so many people, and it's so important to tell these individual stories. And since I noticed that it's not that easy just to post some videos on Instagram, or I'm not like the one that wants to talk in my Instagram story or whatever, so I said, okay, what other opportunity do I have? A podcast. So yeah, I founded my own podcast. It's still kind of improving, but I want to use this also to go more into detail into some topics, and yeah, do some enlightenment and inspiration, and yeah, this is, I guess, really important. So yeah, this is the story. I was really nervous and intimidated by all the great presentations, and hopefully you liked this story, and let's get in touch. This is really, I really want to get in touch with you. So here's my email, Instagram, and a podcast. And yes, if you have any questions or feedback, and hopefully I'm on time, Martin. Perfect, okay, then yeah, thank you very much for listening and being here and for all your work.